Alrighty, guys. I think we're live here. Alright. Alright, guys. So, this is a Weird War Wednesday. It is Wednesday, so it's another episode of Weird War Wednesday. And tonight is just a Q&A free-for-all. So you guys can have at it. Ask me any questions, or just bullshit, do some hobbying while we're here, just chilling. So, interesting thing happened to me today. So, me 3D printing like crazy. So, like, here's the arm, right? The build plate is right here. Here's the arm, or whatever they call it. Well, the build plate is basically, here's the build plate, and it's just a magnet, right? It's just a piece of metal, right? And on here is a magnet, okay? Well, what had happened, and again, this is a used machine I got, right? So it looks like over the years, maybe some resin and stuff had worked its way between the magnet and the metal, the arm here, right? So what had happened was, like, the magnet started to separate. So I'm like, shit. So what I had to do today is I had to glue back on the magnet onto the arm. So I had to use like some 2-part epoxy so it'd have that permanent seal. So, because you got to think this thing gets submerged all the time in the vat, right? In the resin vat. So you want to make sure that seal there is, watertight or resin tight at least, right? So, because you don't want that stuff to work its way in there and then start to harden, right? Start to curing in there. And it starts to separate that magnet from the build plate. And next thing you know, your damn magnet falls off because there's stuff on the build plate won't hold. So that was kind of interesting today. So, but again, it's just a magnet, and this is just the build plate. It's just a piece of metal that just fits on the magnet. It's a pretty powerful magnet. This is pretty thin metal too. So, I mean, it doesn't you just got to kind of get it on there, right? But yeah, there you go. So there you go. The ins and outs of some 3D printing. I never had to deal with that before. That was my first. So I'm sure, it's pretty cool. Nerd, what's up, girl? I was just talking about so my arm here, I look, it's just a magnet, right? That's affixed to the arm. And it looked like over time, this is a used model. So it looks over time like the resin has worked its way in between. And it basically, the magnet was coming, the adhesive was working its way out. So I had to reaffix the magnet on here so I could put the build plate on. So there you go. The ins and outs of 3D printing. Sometimes you got to do that shit. Hungar, what's up, buddy? That's true. What can I say? It's a curse. Hungar, it's a curse, brother. It is a curse. That's why I had to get a tough chick like Mel, man. She got to put up with all the bullshit that is involved with loving a big lug like me. It's crazy balls. But yeah, so yeah, I've been doing lots of 3D printing still. Really, one of the things I don't like about it is the cleanup. And since I'm doing it by hand, it's messy. And what's happened, it's like over the months I've been doing this, there's like a finish. There's I try to keep it all in contained, and I try to keep the workspace where the paper towel so it'll soak up anything. But that alcohol and when you're cleaning with the alcohol, it'll get on the table and all that shit. And there's just this film, like a residue, and it sucks. I need to get one of those cleaning stations so I don't have to fuck with that. So I mean, and I clean my table with alcohol, but I clean my table with alcohol, but there's still almost like a grease, like a real subtle grease on my workstation, which sucks, but that's all right. I'm hoping to get one of those wash stations for Christmas, but you know how it is, Christmas for dads. You don't get anything. You get everything for everybody else, but you end up just maybe buying something for yourself. But that's okay. That's what dads do, right? It's not about getting shit. It's about giving shit. Yeah, and so anybody out there that I might give a present to, don't give any bullshit. Like, oh, I didn't get you anything. That's okay. I don't want anything. I'm giving you a present. So don't give me any shit. Nothing worse than people feeling obligated to give back. I don't, that's what it's all about. It's about giving, guys. I mean, if you want to give back, that's fine, but don't feel obligated to. I think we all get kind of caught up in the, I don't know, but Mac, what's up, dude? I know. I got a question for you. So it's like if I get a wash day, I haven't even looked into it to be honest with you. Are there certain sizes? I guess you would get the same size because from what I've read, again, I haven't seen any pictures, but if I've read some people talking about it, it's like you basically just put the arm in, right? You just put the whole thing into the wash station, right? And then it washes it and then it cures it. So I'm sure that the wash station would at least have to fit your base plate size, right? So, but are all the wash stations kind of universal? Or are they just kind of like big? I guess if you have a giant printer, you'd have to get a special station. But I guess it would the wash station would have to fit your printer. So I don't know. Okay, so Iligu would have like the wash station for the Mars, which is what I got, and then the Saturns and stuff. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because I wasn't sure if there was like, I don't know, like a general wash station. I guess you could get a wash station at like, if you had a big, I don't know. I guess you can get a big one. Just, I don't know. It just, I've been talking to a bunch of the guys, and they're talking about getting printers, and they're talking about like how cheap it is, and I'm like, shit, man, I might get a bigger one here next year. Because there's a couple things I can't like print, like that bus that you hooked up for me. It's too big for the Mars. So my buddy has he has the bigger Aligu, the big one. So he's hooking me up with a print on that. But yeah, it's like big vehicles I can't, and scenery, unless the scenery is like cut up, I can't really put it in my printer. Okay. So it's like a basket. Okay, that's cool. Santa. Hell yeah. Hungar, you should travel you're out in the sticks, aren't you? In your neighborhood. I was about to say you should like drive around town in your pickup or whatever you drive, dressed up as Santa. So like some kids drive up to you, you can go, you've been naughty or nice. You can play Santa. And he's like, Mom, we saw Santa today. It was awesome. He was driving around in a panel van that said free candy on it. Had this weird bear on it that was like a smiling bear. But yeah. I've been finding I'm going to try I reached out to a couple STL creators and see if they want to maybe become sponsors. So maybe we might have some new sponsors coming up here in the new year. So that'd be cool. Get these guys and gals some exposure and try to maybe, get them some money in their pockets and maybe even convince them to do a little Weird War too. So that'd be cool. Oh, you went shopping today? That's cool. Dressed as Santa. That's awesome. So the wash is basically the resin here is like alcohol soluble, and you just put like alcohol in the wash station, and it uses that to clean it. Just I guess it's like a shower. Just kind of showers it. And then after that, I guess the wash stations also have like a curing. It has like a UV light in there, I think. And then after it washes, it like cures it because it's just UV light. It's not like any light. It's UV. So that's the bad thing. It's like shit. Especially if like certain, depending on where you live. I mean, if you're living in Seattle or some shit, and you're relying on the sun to be your curing device, you might be screwed. It's been really wet, screwed. It's been really wet around here, so and overcast. So I haven't been able to have the sun out. So it's been kind of a bummer. I have a pile of minis here. I need to get cured, but we haven't had sun in the last day and a half. So Mac, I'm telling you, brother, got to get one. I know it's, and listen, I mean, us old timers, trust me, it took me until just this year to get into the whole 3D printing thing. I mean, it's been going on for what, like 10 years, 15 years, 10 years, like plug and play, like I would say about 10 years. So, but yeah, I'm telling you, it is a resource that you cannot pass up as a war gamer. So I'm telling you, I mean, there's so much shit out there for free. It's amazing. It's so awesome. I've discovered a lot, download, because I'll download almost any free file that I think is cool, and print it up. And there's a learning curve with that too, guys, because a lot of these 3D printings are usually designed for larger scale, so like 75 mil or something like that. So when you shrink it down to I usually shoot around 28 to 32 in scale, so around 148 scale, in that range. A lot of that design, especially when it comes to like hats and like clothing and stuff, when you shrink it down to that size, it gets really thin, like super thin, and it doesn't work. It fails. It doesn't mold the clothing or the hat brim because it just gets too thin, and because it's not really designed to be. Another big thing is chairs, like chairs that are sculpted at a higher scale. When you shrink it down, the chair legs and the crossbars and all that shit, the supports, you got to be really careful, to get this, to knock the supports off with them. But even then, they're usually, again, they're so thin they just break. So it's pretty yeah, the UV. Yeah, the UV is the catalyst that hardens the resin. It's the UV. It's not heat, it's not dryness or anything like that. It's the ultraviolet light. So even if you put it out there and there's no sun, it's not gonna really work. You need like actual sunlight or UV. I guess I could get a UV lamp if you didn't want to get like a dedicated clean station. You can get like one of those plant UV lights and just like stick it on a desk or some shit and put your stuff there. But I want to say I'm not sure if the UV, like the clean stations, I don't know if it like is all around UV or is it just from a certain. So nerds, this is what she told me to do. She told me that she uses the water method. So what you do is you get a container, like a glass container, big enough to fit your stuff in, submerged. You pull it just full of water and you put it out there. So I guess like the water is like refracts the light, all around the model, right? Even if it's laying flat against the glass is still allowing that UV light to penetrate the bottom part and stuff. So there you go. It's the poor man's, curing. But it seems to work. I mean, I haven't really had any problems with not curing. I guess over time it will cure. I mean, it's not just never going to cure if it doesn't. I'm sure it just takes a long time for. I had ordered a while back. I had ordered a tank that they 3D printed, and they didn't cure it long enough. So when I got it, it was like kind of soft, and it was kind of I don't know how to explain it. It was like soft, and it smelled real bad, and it's still moist too. It felt moist, like they didn't. I don't know what the fuck, but yeah. But yeah, so I'm gonna do some painting here while I'm talking to you folks. Been we got some painting challenges coming up here, everybody. Mini Warmutt's plugging his painting challenges next month. So get in on that. Should be a lot of fun. Warmutt's cool dude. I think he said he's going to do one in January and then one in September. And I also know the Crafting Gamer. He's doing that. I haven't really heard anything from him lately. I need to try to contact him, see if he's going to do like that Gundam thing. He's going to do like a paint a Gundam in like some sort of World War II, motif. So that's cool. And right now, what's going? The guys over at there's a model build, a group build. It's military vehicles, military wheeled vehicles. So it's basically anything, any military vehicle at any time, or make believe or real, that's wheeled. So I'm doing that right now. I need to call my buddy. I haven't got that bus yet. Nerd helped me. So there's a real famous in the Weird War II world, at least, there's a real famous picture that was in National Lampoon's magazine, and Russ Heath, one of the best comic artists out there, he used to work for National Lampoon's, and he did this it's a parody off of it's basically it's like those old World War II like ads like Boeing would do. It's like the Nordstrom bomb site, sending our boys home for the one hit, one punch, 100% guarantee, whatever, some sort of ad. Well, it's basically like this giant bus, right? And it's like right over there shooting these Germans. And it's basically kind of like and then the text is basically saying it's almost like a B-17. They're acting like it's a B-17, but it's a bus. It's pretty funny. But I found an STL of that, and it was a mess. And then I sent it over to Nerd's Nerd. She's fucking awesome, and she was able to clean it up and kind of make it a little bit more printer friendly. So it's pretty sweet. Well, that's cool. You got all sorts of shit. Yeah, because I'd sent my my friend that file, Nerd, at first, and he tried to print it up like a couple times, and he's like, "Are you sure this is like a video game file or something?" I'm like, "No, they said it was like a model," and he's like, "Yeah, because I cannot print it; it's all jacked up." So I'm like, I know somebody that can hook us up, and that was the Nerd's Nerd. She's the mad mistress. Hook us up. And that was the Nerd's Nerd. She's the mad mistress of the STL. I should say the weird mistress of the STL. But yeah, it was because he printed it and it had like an interior and it was just all jacked up. And he couldn't get to work. He's more of a he doesn't do what you do. He actually, so Nerd, my buddy Jason, he's a blacksmith, right? Or not a blacksmith, a leathersmith or leatherman or whatever they call him. So he does a lot of leather working. You should check out his channel. It's called Road Agent Leather. But anyway, he does he 3D prints some shit or whatever for it. But he was like, "Man, I want to get into that stuff." And I was telling him about how you were you use Blender a little bit, but you said that you use that Microsoft 3D was that 3D view or 3D print or whatever it was. He's like, "Yeah, that's what I want." He was saying, "Yeah, I want to learn how to make design stuff." Because this motherfucker's amazing, guys. He should be in fucking models for movies and shit. The guy's amazing. He can fabricate anything and design almost anything. It's pretty cool. Yeah, if you do leather working, man, you might. If you do leather crafting, Mac, you might know Jason. He again, Road Agent Leather. He does a lot of holsters, like gun type stuff. But he's done, He's got a huge following. He's got a massive channel. So like it's great because he gets like a bunch of shit for free. Like all these companies will send him like guys, they're sending them like laser printers, like etchers, not the little ones, but like the like shit is almost as big as this fucking. It's not as big as this room, but it's massive. It's probably what 4 feet by 4 feet, and it lasers through wood and fucking metal and all sorts of shit. And he got it for free. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Shit. I'm like, hell yeah. That's awesome. See, that's another thing, guys. So like, going the way of like if you're doing your YouTube channel or whatever, I mean, if you want sponsors, if you don't want to, I'm not into like charging people. That's just weird. I don't. This is my Nerd says I don't like mixing my money with my hobby. And I agree with that to an extent. I really do. Unless you're selling a product, that's something different. I mean, if you're selling something like you've created or you're producing, that's something different. But yeah, this is a hobby. My Weird WWII is a hobby. Channel, and I've always pretty much said I was going to do that, but things might get rough and things might get hard, and I might end up fucking monetizing if I ever get to that level. But one of the perks of having a channel or just any kind of outlet that allows you to you can reach out to these people, because I have several sponsors, and it's guys. There's no contracts. I don't sign any. I'm not going to sign any like contracts that say I can't say something or any of that bullshit. I'm not going to do that. I just, refuse to. I'm not going to do that. I mean, we can have an agreement, between gentlemen, and I'm not asking for any money from them, but the what I ask them is some product support and a discount code. Specifically, a Weird WWII discount code for you guys. It can be any percentage, anything that they're comfortable with. And because I want you guys to benefit from all this too, because I'm not doing this to just get shit. I'm doing this, but if that could be a bonus, but I want to pass on that to you guys to an extent too, because there's a lot of great shit out there, and if you get a little discount, man, that goes a long way. And I'm reaching out to these STL guys. And if I can get a 10% discount on an STL file, that's $3. I mean, that's not a huge savings, but I mean, hell, it's almost like, man, shit, that's awesome. So, but yeah, I travel. Shadow, what's up, buddy? Yeah, so yeah, he does a bunch of sheaths too, Jason. I'm telling you, Road Agent Leather, check it out. He does sheaths, he does packs, holsters, tons of different holsters. He just did a whip, like a full leather whip. Like he's never done one. He's amazing. He'll do all this research and shit on how they did it. Like it's basically get a rod, just whatever kind of rod, and then you start just getting these big old pieces of fucking leather and start wrapping it. It's funny because he's got those industrial like sewing machines and shit, and the guy can sew like a madman. I'm like, dude, you're sewing. He's like, I know. I'm like, that's fucking awesome, though. That's fucking cool. But he does all that leather. He did a backpack. I guess he did a backpack for his kids. Like, I guess in some style, like some popular anime or some shit. And he made a couple for his kids, and there was like huge, like, hey, can we buy that? He's like, no, I'm not gonna make a bunch. But he gets a lot of people wanting him to do like special shit, and sometimes he'll sell the stuff that he makes just to make a little money on the side. So that's kind of cool. Oh yeah, let me get that link for you real quick, Shadow. Yeah, he's great, dude. And hell, shoot him a suggestion if there's in that, like, I keep from Tombstone, like all the holsters that they used in Tombstone. I keep telling them to try to make like a leather holster, the leather shotgun holster from Aliens. Remember when I think it was Hicks had that shotgun that sawed off, that he had that like kind of just a real simple, like almost like one of those old Thompson motorcycle leather holsters. So I keep telling them to make that. And then if you need some ball gags or something like that, I'm sure he can make you some leather stuff like that too. For all you weirdos out there. All right, let me find him real quick. But yeah, it's cool. It's like, I guess the term is AMR or ASR or ASMR or some shit like that, where it's just kind of like really mellow. I'm telling you guys, watching his shit is like, he's got this real mellow music in the background, and it's just him doing it, right? And he doesn't talk a whole lot. He might talk at the very beginning or at the very end, but it's like those, remember those old like how they made it videos when we were kids, you know, be like some sort of manufacturing, be some manufacturing plant. Let me find it. And all the machines moving and all that shit. Here it is. All right. Damn it. It's so weird. On my computer, like every like 5 minutes, this black screen will pop up and then disappear. Some shit. I'm probably like a bot for some Russian hacker. Yeah, I'm telling you, Shadow, you'll just sit there, just watch this shit on the couch, man. You know, put your feet up, and then you'll just be amazed at how cool it is, and then you just fucking fall asleep because it's just fucking mellow. It's funny because, you know, he checks his, like, I don't really do like the like, I don't check my like statistics and stuff on YouTube. I don't really know how, but he'll go in there and it's funny. He says the most popular scenes in any of his videos are like of his tool chest. He'll like open up his tool case or some shit, and I guess to get whatever, you know, all of his leathering tools, and that's like the most popular like part of all of his videos. His most watched part, or is that point when he's like showing off his tools. It's kind of funny. Makes sense though. Shit, I'd be interested in what kind of tools he uses and shit. And it's all like, I mean, again, he'll like 3D print some stuff, and like he'll use this laser printer to cut out designs and shit. But other than that, it's all like old world shit. He's all like sewing stuff and wrapping stuff, and he's staining leather, and he's punching stuff, and sewing by hand the leather, pieces and shit. It's pretty amazing what he can do. Tool gazers. It's true. There you go. Tool gazers. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So, nerd, you being in cybersecurity and whatnot, does that sound like I'm being hacked? Again, every 10 minutes, this little black, it's like a new window pops up, and it's just black. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then it just goes away. I don't know what the fuck that is. I was talking to Romanovich on the Discord, and I'm like, man, you need to make those heavy the German heavy APC walkers, those 4-legged ones. You need to make those bad boys. Those are awesome. I've got a platoon of those, but I painted them up a white, like white camo. I'd like to get another. I'd like to do another platoon and do like the ambush color for winter. Then you could go crazy with that thing. You could do all those that's 128 fucking anti-tank gun arms, and then there's the AA one. I want to say those are quad 88. Dude, that's fucking awesome. I played that in my game. Holy shit, that thing's a beast. It blows the shit. Yeah, it's like a command prompt. I don't know. I'll have to. A black screen pops up on my laptop, and it's black, and then up in the corner, it's just some think it is a prompt like a was it DOS or whatever prompt. Not on the screen, but like on the title of the window. It's some weird like whatever numbers and shit. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I don't give a shit if someone's using my shit as a proxy. I don't give a fuck. But I mean, I don't really have anything in my computer they can steal. I don't keep any of my like info on my computer. I'm old school. I still pay my bills. Most of my bills I pay with money orders still. I'm weird. But yeah, yeah, so those scanners, man, that'd be awesome. That's a whole nother thing, guys, is the whole 3D scanners. That's sweet. I hear those are getting pretty low in price. Like for less than $1,000, you can get a pretty big one, pretty decent sized one. That is, really good. So shit, go for it. Why is this a weird color? It really dries. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I dig that. Let me show you the walkers I'm talking about real quick, guys. If you guys aren't familiar with dust, let me grab one of those walkers. Hold on. All right, guys. So these are my big foot walkers. These are the big heavy walkers. Okay, so what we got here? Let you guys see what we're talking about. So like here is so this one's not quite painted yet, but this is like, and these are German walkers. So this is like a Yog walker. Look at that thing. It's massive. I think these are 128s, dual 128 millimeter fucking anti-tank guns. Look at that thing. That thing's a beast. Let me get you a mini. So there you go. See, that's the size. These things are huge. That's a 148 scale. This is 148. The thing is a beast. So this is like the anti-tank version of it, right? And then this is the flak version. And these ones are all painted. So check that out, man. Look at that. Those are quad 88s. I wanna say those, yeah, those are 88s. But yeah, it's got like, I put like, so there's like these lights on here. I put those as infrared. So for you guys that don't know, the infrared lamps that the Germans used in World War II are not red, they're blue. The lens looks blue. Okay. So just so if you didn't know that, that's what you need to color your. But I made these IR, so like in my head story, these giant IR spotlights are painting the sky, that the Allies can't see unless they have their imagers on. And these guys are just picking them up. So that's fucking cool. But this guy's on a little radar on it. It's got like a radar. But yeah, I put some like art on it, like some pinup art. And then these are the APCs. So they're just basically like it's almost like a 251, but like it's big old armor. Now there's also a different turret you can use. One is like the 222 turret, but I'm sitting here and I'm like, look, okay, it's bad enough that this is open top. I can see why they did that. That's kind of like the design. But like a turret, I wanted an enclosed turret, right? And I believe these are, I think these are 31 mils or 30 millimeter autocannons. Those are the turret that was going to be on the flak Panzer IV, the Kolbitz, I think it was called. But they never really made them. But yeah, so see, there's like the crew compartment, and it's like there's like the hatch where they. You're not gonna be jumping off the sides on this bad boy. You're gonna have to climb down this little ladder or whatever it is. Oh, did you? Okay, cool. I'll check it out, man. That sounds awesome, nerd. And then here's like the headquarters version, kind of like a support weapon. It's a short 75, the stubby. They call it the stummel, which means stubby, I think it was called. So it's just a short 75 howitzer. But yeah, it's pretty sweet. So I got a platoon of those. So I got 4 for a traditional Panzer Grenadier platoon. But yeah, I want to get, like, again, they're all painted white, and because I use this stuff for my Arctic con games, so which is great. Everybody loves it. These things usually are going up against like Pershings and shit. I need to get some more boxes. Store these things. Storage, man. That's one of the big things about our hobby. Ooh. Especially when I start 3D printing. Holy frazzle. All sorts of craziness. Bill, what's up, dude? Yeah, I mean, realistically, I don't think you're going to have walkers like you got to think the movement. They're walking, so it's unless there's some sort of stabilizer that stabilizes the crew compartment, that'd be a hell of a fucking bumpy ride. But again, this is fantastical shit, so that's what I usually say. I say that the walkers, so like in my rules, my game is pretty crunchy and it's pretty realistic, so like there's different labels of walkers or whatever. Like 2-legged walkers, if they've got any large like caliber weapons on them or rockets, like large rockets, they got to steady themselves. They got to like plant their feet, lock down, and then they can shoot or do whatever, right? Because they're just not as balanced as a 4 or a 6 or an 8-legged would be, right? So they got to and they can get toppled, right? So when they get hit by certain fire, so like if their last action they were moving a certain distance and they get shot from like if they're on uneven ground, I could topple them, right? And unless they have some sort of like auxiliary arm, like a manipulating arm, they're stuck. They're like immobilized, tipped over. It'd be like a tank being tipped over. But if they have one of those arms, they can like push themselves up. It'd take them like a couple turns or whatever it is to get up if the crew aren't all bashed and squished within. But yeah, walkers are cool. They're pretty cool. Yeah, you want to make it so like the Dust game is really general. It's not. It's really meant as a beer and pretzel game. So there's not a lot of hard realism. It's realistic in that you shoot each other and they die, but there's not a lot of like mechanics to it. It plays like a board game, and I guess Dust Warfare, which is their war game version, plays a little bit more like a traditional war game. So it's a little bit more, but I think it uses generally the same mechanics in that as well, which is fine. I like, and I think in any gamer, as you mature in your gaming, right? I think you want more. I think a lot of times now I'm speaking for myself. I think now, time is always going to be a factor in your gaming. So as you get older, that's families, that's, you got other commitments, wives, husbands, lovers, whatever you got. So, you lose out on, whatever. But I think as I grow older, I want more from my gaming. I want realism because I've played the easy and I've played the quick. I want to play the real. So that's why I designed my own game, because nothing was providing me that level of detail. And again, everybody's like, oh, okay, listen. like with Mel's not a war gamer guy. She's a fair weather gamer, and Battleground Weird World War II is really heavy for her, so she doesn't really like playing it much. So, but yeah, you gotta like. So she likes the fast because she's not a gamer, but like once you learn the rules and it just becomes accustomed to it, it's not any longer than anything else would be. It's a lot. I think it's a lot more fun because things happen realistically. Well, there are. I got some Weird World War II. Hold on a second. Let me show you. I've got my UFO, but that's like alien UFO. But I do got 3 of these dust aircraft. These things, they're like kind of like hover, like VTOL things. I got one of these guys. It's like the fighter version. You should do these. These will probably fit in one Romanov's scanner. We should get him to. I know he's got other interests. I think he's been doing like 40K stuff lately. And these are kind of like the support ones. So this one's got like a 50. I think it's a 75 millimeter autocannon, if not a 50. I can't remember. And then this is kind of shooting the X7 rockets or guided missiles, I should say. And they got laser guns, all sorts, and bombs, all sorts of shit. But yeah, that's the only. But see, the thing with aircraft, guys. So, in my experience, again, I like to play with realism. That at the 148 scale, and the only aircraft you're ever going to see is terrain. Okay. Now, helicopters are something different, but it's my experience because like in my game, we basically forward the air mobile tactics of Vietnam started in World War II. So most of the major belligerents have like air mobile stuff. But I'm telling you, at this scale, even helicopters, they're just fucking rubble, man. They just burning wrecks because you got to think, most helicopters aren't like armored. I mean, they can be somewhat armored, but I mean, you're talking a battlefield. We're talking like platoon level games. In a platoon, there's a lot of machine guns in a platoon, right? And then if you're talking anti-air assets like the Whirlwind and like the M16, and then just anything like that. I mean, you're talking massive, massive amounts of fire going up in the air, and those helicopters just can't weather that kind of firepower at the scale. They don't have anywhere to move. They don't got anywhere to. The only way that helicopters survive on the battlefield is that you got to smoke the fuck out of the battlefield, and they did that in tactics. They like if there was an air assault was coming down. You would smoke the area to give that cover, and then you'd have your gunships flying around trying to suppress anything that might pop up. But yeah, just at this scale, the only thing you're aircraft wise is you're going to see like strafing runs, and then there could be some could be helicopters or something, but they don't last long on the battlefield. Yeah, I got jetpacks. We got jetpacks, flight packs, jetpacks, jump packs, rocket packs, whatever. And there's some differences. Like some are just like you're almost deployed like paratroopers, right? It's like Starship Troopers, like the opening of Starship Troopers, the book, where they're dropped out of the transports and they just fall through the atmosphere, and then the rockets hit and they just slow down and then they land, right? Those are I think rocket packs are like that. You just kind of descend. You don't use parachutes because you can descend faster, and then those rockets just cushion your landing. And then the jump packs are just like a limited burst of jump. But usually troops that have that, they got to be in some sort of like armored or some sort of electrified like frame, because you couldn't just jump like on human legs. You know what I mean? You fucking legs would get crushed. if you're jumping from point A to point B, unless there's some sort of frame to take that concussion or whatever. I mean, and this is hard science in a fantastical world. I mean, you don't need to go that high tech, but I mean, it makes sense. But like the Americans, they had those was it the X-17s, I think they were. They're almost like it looks like a cherry picker. Like you guys have been in a cherry picker, right? It's like but it's circular, right? And it's just got this giant like fan. And you stand on top of it. There's a rail around it, right? And there's just like a giant fan. It's like a hovercraft. It's just like a single man. I've got some of them. Where are they at? Let me show you what I'm talking about. I think they're in here. So these are actually built like in the 50s. But of course, it's insane, and would have been cool if it worked, but it didn't. So like these things. See, it's basically like they're sitting on a big fan, right? And then one guy sits in there, and there's some joysticks or whatever, and they just kind of hover in this thing. I don't know if I have anybody. Let me see. I'll find a dude. Here's a naked chick. Oh, here's a guy. So like, yeah, so they'd be like that. They'd be like, yeah, you can boost on descent, like, and that's what it would have to be. If you had jump pack troops or something like that, it'd have to be like right before they land, the jump pack like slows your descent so you can land soft, or you're gonna break all your fucking legs. But yeah, I mean, you can do that. And again, that's the hard crunch science. I mean, anybody can have jump packs and like not worry about all that technical shit. I know I'm ruining it. I found a giant bear online. Look at that big ass grizzly. So here's like where'd that dude go? Here's like a 28 millimeter. Here's the bear. It's like crunch. It's pretty cool. I don't have a giant grizzly. Yes, dude, that is fucking amazing. That jetpack, I think what is it? The Belgians designed that, the Dutch, dude. It's like their arms, like the fans are on their arms. They just fought, dude. That is awesome. I mean, that is amazing. I see that being like, I see the Marines buying a bunch of that shit. They can go do ship assaults and shit. I'm telling you, man, if there's a terrorist organization like Cobra or some shit out there, like Iran, and buying a bunch of that shit, they can cause some havoc, man, in the shipping lanes. When the U.S. pulls all that, that's one of the reasons, I mean, why the world's shipping lanes have been so relatively safe is because the U.S. is out there patrolling them. The minute we stop doing that shit, it's going to be fucking a whole nother world out there on the high seas. Hell, right now, fucking isn't in Taiwan are a bunch of like there's like almost 2,000 like Chinese fishing trawlers like anchored in lines, like blocking lines on certain like fishing areas by Taiwan. Just fucking crazy shit, guys. Oh, I haven't seen. Oh, wait a minute. I think I have seen that ammo bear. Yeah, the Wojtek or whatever it is. Yeah, that was cool. That's a cool real weird war story. It was Polish, wasn't he? I think it was a Polish bear. I want to say it was Polish. I think wasn't he in the like Italian campaign or some shit. I can't remember the story, the real story. I did an article on that bear on my Weird WWII blog a while back. I don't remember the story though. It's pretty cool. I need to do more on my blog. I haven't done a lot on that in a while. Oh no, I haven't seen that. Like the big Soviet armor. Yeah, that was pretty cool looking. He did some pretty cool shit. I know that one of those guys are doing like the AT-43 stuff. That was the precursor to Dust. It was kind of what Dust was supposed to, but no one wanted to buy fantastical World War II back then when he was pushing it. So he said, "Shit, I'll just make a sci-fi game then, punks." And he did. It's a shame that Dust went the way it would. It was a cool brand. I don't see Cool Mini or not doing anything with it. I don't, they're big IP whores. So, they're going to be doing like Marvel and DC and, fucking whatever IP is hot. Some sort of Disney shit or something or whatever it is. And stuff like Dust and stuff that I don't know if there's. I know they kind of toyed with that, what they were releasing, but that was pretty. I haven't heard a single thing about it since that initial like, hey, buy this comic book and these 6 figures for $30, which is a pretty good deal. But then shipping was like fucking $30 or $40 or something. Like, yep, you lost me there. I know you're in like Indonesia or Thailand or some shit, but I'm not paying that much to fucking ship fucking a comic book and 6 minis to me. I'll just wait for it to come out. I mean, it's weird because I don't know. I say this, but I mean, there's people throwing down fucking $200 for a fucking board game nowadays. I'm just like, that's nuts. I can't do that. I won't do that. That's insane. Unless it's massive. And they usually are. They're usually fucking super massive. But I don't know. Prices are just getting crazy. Getting crazy. Yeah, dude. So Shadow, the one I'm thinking of is like they're like one man, and it almost is like Iron Man. He uses those repulsor jets or whatever. It's exactly that, dude. But they have like, it's on their arms, right? And they have like a backpack, and and there's videos of them just like they're starting on the coast, like on the beach, and they just come up and they just fly out to sea. They go into a boat and they land onto a boat and stuff. Man, it is awesome. And then they got those things, those like hang glider like parachutes now. Those like, it's almost like you like Batman. You put out your Batman wings and you like flying around with them and shit. I think that was a Dutch invention too. Crazy Dutch. Doing up some cool shit. Yeah, it's pretty amazing what's going to happen next. It's so weird, we're like so technically advanced, but yet like our military is getting like, they don't want heavy armor anymore. They're going with fast light armor instead of like, heavy. And I don't blame it, man, with drones and shit. I watched a fucked up video today. It was a Ukrainian unit using those like drones that drop like grenades and mortar shells and stuff. And there was a squad of like advancing Russians. And that fucking those 2 drones killed like 20 fucking dudes. And they were just dropping grenades, dropping mortar shells on these guys, and they didn't even know what the fuck was happening. It was pretty shocking. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you see all these like Russian, vehicles have those roll cage grill protection grills or whatever. They ain't doing shit. And then fucking missiles these days. Now I don't think the tank is dead. I don't think it's gonna die off, but it's definitely gonna have to come up with some upgrades. I know they have those close-in defense systems now. But dude, if you're infantry, you don't want to be anywhere next to a tank that has that kind. It's like EAR blocks, right? You don't want to be standing close to one of those fuckers when those pop. Get killed by your own tank defending itself. Shit. Whew. Battlefield just gets more and more lethal. I see just drones being the way of the future, man. Drone tanks, drones, aircraft, drones. Man, how do you defend against like 5,000 drones coming at you at once? You don't. That's why the Americans are doing that drone, like, I forgot what the term was called, but they're just going to make like billions of fucking drones and then just like, go get them, boys. Shit. We're all going to be shooting shotguns to try to hit all that shit. That's cool, man. That's true. I mean, people, and like, Shadow talks a lot about the collector prices of things, and I used to collect comics, guys, like hardcore. I mean, lots of Golden Age and Silver Age. I wasn't a dealer, but I was a collector, like a serious collector and seller. And I'm telling you guys, you can have the listed value, but nothing's worth except what the collector's willing to pay. You know what I mean? So if a book says it's like $50 or whatever, that's just a suggestion, because if you price your book $50 and no one buys it, then it ain't worth a shit because it's just sitting there. Your intent is to sell it, right? But you're not selling it. It's too expensive. So you gotta price them, in a certain way. The one thing without comics, guys, for me is like everything started like, again, I was a collector and a seller, and everything started to go the way of like the CGC stuff. So like all your books had to be fucking cased in CGC fucking graded bullshit. And look, I mean, for big books, I get that, like Action Comics #1, Amazing Fantasy 15, that kind of shit. I get you. But like, I mean, people are putting like, they're CGCing fucking like, She-Hulk number 837. It's just like, you're just wasting your fucking money. And then it's just like, I don't know. I mean, that's for like hardcore collectors that don't want to read the books. But again, nowadays you can read the books just fucking online now. So there's really no need to having to open them. You just encase them and everything and just read them online. Highlanders, king crabs, dogs and cats. It's true. Shit, man. We made this technology, computers and fucking all that shit. Now we gotta make computers that can defend against computers that can attack the computers, and and our whole world is centered around this whole computer thing. And then when someone comes up with the thing that counteracts everything like that, the whole, like the EMP, like a area deployed EMP, except without having to actually detonate a fucking nuke or some shit. Dude, all that technology just goes out the fucking window. That's where the fucking swords and bayonets come into play. Physical media, I think, is going to be a rarity these days. So if you got like, I stumbled across this website that was talking about like DVDs that are really rare now, or because the movie houses aren't making them anymore. They're not producing DVDs anymore. And so it's basically whatever's out in the market right now is all that there is. So like, you got those DVDs that were hard to find anyway, those like cult movies or whatever, and they're not gonna like you got like Vinegars or was it Slytherin and Vinegar Syndrome or whatever, those guys, they're producing like all the fucking stupid bullshit, the cult favorites. But there's a limited, so they're only going to do limited runs for that kind of shit. And they're not going to get the okay from the big boys to release more famous movies or more popular movies. It'll all be streaming channels and like crap. I'm a fan of physical media, but I mean, again, I sold all my comics because I was just done collecting, and now I just read them online just out of enjoyment instead of anything else. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool, dude. The Monetary History of the United States, 1867 to 1960. Woo, that's some dedicated reading right there. I watch a lot of like YouTube channels that have all those old like industry videos and propaganda videos and training videos and shit of years gone by. Those are a lot of fun. Like the story of American steel, the spring in your life. Springy, the spring sprite. But yeah. It's true. I'm not sure what soy boy means, to be honest with you guys. Nerded. I know it's a derogatory remark. Is it like it's like a soft man or maybe a tough man or some shit? I'm not exactly sure what it means. I'm not really in tune with the kids and their speech these days. I still say dude and radical. Beta males, soy boy. So beta males would be like just kind of like sissy boy or something. Just a weaker person. Non-alphas, weak men. Okay. Just physically weaker or just like mentally weaker? I don't know. Just whatever. I guess you can use it however. That's one thing this country loves these days is fucking labels, man. Good Lord. Labels everywhere. Labels, labels, labels. I prescribe to one label. Brian. That's it. Painting these super monkeys, super gorillas. Gotcha. Who comes up with this shit? Who comes up with these fucking terms? Soy boy and I don't even know what the hell. Soy like soybeans? Like vegetarians or something? I think that's what that means. I know what a lot of this stuff means. I mean, I play dumb sometimes, but sometimes I'm not sincerely, I really don't, I'm not quite sure what the hell the context is. That's why I ask questions. That's one thing you always hear from me. I'll ask questions, guys. Doesn't mean I'm stupid. I just don't fucking know. I gotta learn. Learn me. That's how you learn. You ask questions. Oh yeah, I've heard the toxic masculinity thing. Oh boy. Everywhere. Oh, so I watched a couple movies today, guys. I watched the Top Gun movie. That was fucking awesome. Talk about a badass action flick. That was fun. Man, oh my god, Jennifer Connelly is so. I've always loved her, and she got Hollywood skinny for a while, man. She doesn't look too bad now. She's still pretty skinny, but she got Hollywood skinny because she was a voluptuous girl for a while. I love those curves. She was gorgeous. She's a good actress too. I like her acting. She's done some naughty stuff too, which is cool. But yeah, she's gorgeous in that. She looked great. She matured really well. Maverick looks the same. What's his face? Tom Cruise looks the same, pretty much. I guess it has a. So if you guys know about Top Gun, it's like Goose. His radar guy, his co-pilot or whatever. They died. I guess it has a son in this one. It's pretty good. That actor, that's a pretty good actor. That kid that plays that, he's pretty good at it. He's a pretty good actor. I've seen him in a couple things. It got a little like PC, like the enemies in the movie. They don't really give it a country name. It's like a rogue, what they call a rogue government or some shit that had like Gen 5 fighters or some shit. So they look Chinese. I mean, it was obviously set in like a European, I think. Hell, I don't know. Maybe it was Russia. I don't fucking know. But of course, the labels, weren't any like real country. It's so weird. Like, who cares? Everybody hates America anyway, so hell, half the Americans hate America. So just who gives a shit if you offend the Chinese or hell, they hate America too. So everybody hates you. So just assume the default is they hate you. So just do whatever the fuck you want. Just be yourself. Just assume everyone hates you, right? And you'll be okay. It's like, okay, these guys are gonna hate me anyway, so I'm just gonna do it. Fuck it. Yeah, don't take my advice. Rooster, yeah. One of the guys was like his code name was Fanboy. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh god. I'd rather be that Bob guy than Fanboy. Jesus. Ugh. I know you don't get to pick your handles, I don't think, for the most part, but yeah, that would suck. If you got, it'd be like your Bluto, your Bluto, your Walrus, your Flounder. Yeah, but for the most part, it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was like 2 hours plus. I couldn't even tell. It flowed pretty quick. What else did I watch? I watched I want to watch that Godzilla -1, but the the service there, the the bootleg shit that I watched, they don't have it up there yet. So as soon as that thing drops, I'm gonna watch. So tonight for dinner, Mel got home. I made her some spaghetti. We started to watch Cast the Deadly Spell, which is fucking epic. She'd never seen it before. Yeah, that's one thing that that's what I tell my kids growing up. I'm like, look, you don't get to choose your nickname; it just happens. So just be prepared. Some people live by their nicknames though. I mean, I knew a guy. good friend of mine. He just passed away last year. His name was John, but we all call him Turtle. And I don't even know why, to be honest with you. I don't think I ever got that story, why we called him Turtle. He just has always been referred to as Turtle. Did you have so nerd? Did you have a call sign back in like a cool call? Well, I'm sure you had like a unique call sign, not like this is Raptor One. You know, you're part of an operation, but like your own unique call sign or nickname. I'm sure everybody gets nicknames in the military. You'd be like hardware, because you were a tech, right? You're like a tech person. You'd be like mainframe or IT or something like that. Yeah, I had a buddy that was in the Marines. Nerd. He was in ComSat. He did all their like communications shit, like. And so he was always in those like air conditioned trucks, or he was always in the aircraft, right? Because he was always around the servers and shit, doing radar and servers. It was funny. He was telling me once they trained like some of these guys, those microwave dishes, like the satellite dishes. You could actually use those as an offensive weapon and like direct the microwave like at like an aircraft, like a helicopter or some shit. You like bake them with it. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, dude, we actually did like a training on like offensive operations with your ComSat, radar or your satellite dish or some shit. So I'm like, what? That's fucking cool. Yeah, they got all sorts of support vehicles that have trucks and Jeeps and all that shit. So, or helicopter, yeah. He was in the Marines, so he would like whenever they did like boarding actions and shit, he'd be in like the command chopper or whatever the fuck, I don't know, the communicate. I'm not familiar with it all, but yeah, he was always airborne or he was in some sort of support vehicle or some shit. But yeah, I never really thought about that. And he was telling me like those, the dishes on like the ships, they'll fucking fry you. Now you get in front of that somehow, fucking baked. They're like really powerful, I guess. Again, I don't know if that's true. I assume it's true because it makes sense. I know those are like some of that shit is microwave, and I'm sure there's different kinds of like anything. There's different kinds of whatever. Well, nowadays is everything's the U.S. military is really pushing all that laser shit. I've seen some videos on it, man. It looks legit, man. It looks like they can zap drones and burn missiles and all sorts of shit with those laser things. I guess the technology is getting the microization of it all is getting to the point where you could put these massive lasers on decent platforms. Like it used to be, you would need these giant vehicles. Now it's getting to the point where you can put. I want to say Boeing has like a radar defense system that you can fit in the back of a pickup, right? And it can shoot down almost anything. It can't shoot down like, I don't know. I think from what there's like 2 or 3 different wattage ones. And I think of all the 3 that they produce, 2 of them can fit in this like pickup truck size unit. So I'm like, fuck, that's awesome. I know the Navy was pushing all that railgun tech, but I don't know if that's going to be anything, because I think that railgun shit is just the energy needed and like all the components to it, like all the magnets and all that shit. It's just, I don't know. I know you need a lot of space, and the platform has to be pretty heavy so you can carry all that shit along with it to use it. So I don't know. Fucking cool though. Everybody's talking about those hypersonic missiles that the supposedly the Chinese have. I mean, we already know the Russian ones can be intercepted with the Patriot because that's what they've intercepted some of them in Ukraine. So they're not as hot shit like undefensible as everybody was thinking. And then everything the Chinese make is suspect, dude. I'm not saying that they don't have it, but I'm saying that most of that tech is probably fucking suspect. But I don't know. You guys still hear me and everything? I printed up some hey Mac or Nerd, let me know if you guys can still hear me. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've been printing up like a bunch of the guys on Colts have like free like from what I can tell, a lot of the people who do IP stuff on Colts, their STL will be free or really really cheap. A lot of it's free because it makes sense because like if there's any kind of like if the IP owner comes into play and say, hey, you've been making money off our fucking IP, they can do some shit. But if you're giving it for free, it's something different, maybe. But yeah, I've been getting like a bunch of people have been doing like Street Fighter STLs, and they've been doing like video game STLs, Ironheart and Resident Evil, and some of the like the superhero ones. Anyway, I'm like printing some of this stuff up to use as like superheroes in my wargaming. So that's kind of cool. Oh, that's true. So like it makes sense. I mean, I get that. If you're making STLs that are like Mickey Mouse, right? And you're just giving them for free, I mean, I think the due course action with Disney would be like a cease and desist, right? Just say, stop, that's our IP, you can't make it and give it away or some shit. You know, but if you're selling it, that's a whole nother thing. You're actually making money on their IP. So that could be, I'm sure that could be problematic in the court. You know, it's so funny. It's like, that's one thing, like, you know, us being like war gamers, right? We got like, you know, these tanks and shit. These tanks were made by a company, right? Ford or Chevrolet or, you know, whoever, right? But, you know, and like, I'm thinking like in the model industry, right? It's like if you make a Ford Mustang model, right? Do you have to pay some sort of royalty to Ford? Because you're just emulating their product, but you're not selling their product. You know what I mean? You're not selling a Ford Mustang. You're selling like a likeness of it. Now, if you had like the Ford logo or something on it, that'd be something different because it's an actual like trademarked logo. But if it's like the vehicle, you know, why, you know, you're not giving GMC, you know, royalty checks for selling World War II, you know, GMC trucks or whatever. And like you're not sending Siemens a royalty check for like, you know, a Krupp or something making like Tiger tanks and shit. So it's interesting. I'm a big giant gorilla. So next year I need to. So okay, guys, here's some. So here's the question for you. Okay, you guys being the viewers of my channel, what do I need? Do I need a new camera? I need a new camera. Do I need better lighting? I mean, what do I need? What do you guys think can improve the channel? I mean, you know, I don't want to. I'm not ever gonna make like refined like high production shit. But I want it to make it look good, right? So I'm not gonna wear makeup to make my face look better. This is what you get. Sorry, I know it's an ugly mug. Shadow, I need to get with you, dude, like on the phone, and you need to help me more. Mel, yeah, no shit. So Mel has found a new love in fucking doing nails. She does like resin nails, and she does all these designs. She paints all this shit all over it, and she's really good at it. And she's getting really good. And she's like, I'm like, baby, you can't quit your job and become a nail person. Do it on the side. But she's gonna start up a channel, I think, this year, and do kind of nail videos and shit like that. So that'll be cool for her. Maybe I'll let her do some shit on me. I'm gonna do my big manly nails. I know that a lot of the people on the channels have like these dummies. Like it's just like a practice dummy, I guess. I guess in any kind of beauty shit, they got practice stuff, and then there's like just hands that you could put fake nails on and then practice on them or something. So I think she's gonna get into that. But yeah, she's gonna play. She doesn't want to play Battleground anymore. It's too much for her. But we'll play like the next game I think we'll play is a Pulp Alley game. She really likes Pulp Alley, so I'm gonna come up with some sort of Weird War Pulp Alley game. But like I want to get another one of these lights. I don't know if these lights are even worth a shit. I don't even know if I'm doing it right. I mean, it seems okay. If I had another light on this side, it would be like all lit. I'm not a light guy. I don't know anything about any of that shit. She's like, well, why don't you start doing, if you want your channel to grow, why don't you do Warhammer? I'm like, no, I'm fucking not gonna do Warhammer because I don't want to do Warhammer. I know that's what everybody wants to see, but I don't. First of all, I don't play that shit. Second of all, I'm Weird War. It's my shtick. I'm not doing this because I want fandom. I just want, I want to push the weird. I think a lot of times some people get kind of caught up in the whole like having to get having to get, so many subscribers, having to get monetized, having to do this because if we don't do this, we're not going to get it. Stay original. Do what you want to do. But I do suggest everybody start a channel. It's a lot of fun. It's just, it's just like another, just way to show off, your skills and your hobby and your love. That's always fun. Mac, you need to start a channel, dude. Yeah, it's funny because it's so weird, guys. Because like I don't like a lot of the stuff that everybody loves, like these kind of Weird War Wednesdays where we just talk and stuff. I love just talking to you guys. I'm a big fan of that. But like I don't necessarily want to paint, like you're saying, Mac, show my stuff. I'm not a great painter. I used to be pretty good, but I don't painting is like a chore now, and I do not enjoy it at all. It's like I have to do it because if I don't, nothing's gonna get painted. So I'm slow at it now. It's a grind for me. But yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people. Guys, I'm not gonna have any techniques that 100 other fucking people don't already have. And honestly, my techniques are probably out of style or out of whack. With all the you guys are all using those speed paints and those contrast paints or whatever. I'm still using block color paints, man. I don't do any highlights really. I'll do dry brushing. I'll do washes on shit, but I really don't like. I don't do eyeballs anymore. I don't do, dedicated highlights, like painted on highlights. I don't do that shit anymore. I think it'd be, to be that specific, like, um, in a painting video or some shit would just be, it would be kind of pointless. Cause again, I'm not really bringing anything new or unique or even good to the conversation. Yeah, I so I really enjoy these. I really enjoy these like group builds and painting challenges and stuff. I really enjoy that because, first of all, it's like a community effort for us all to kind of get in the trenches and do what we need to do hobby wise, right? So here, okay, so Windows Sys Wow 64 Win. That's what that said. That black thing. That black thing just popped up. I don't know what the fuck that is. Window, yeah, it's gone now. It just pops up for like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, then it disappears. Old school basics. Yeah, shit's gone, nerd. I don't know. If I see it again, I'll tell you what it says. Win Wow 64. Some shit. I don't. I'll have to write it down. Next time I see it, I'll try to catch it and like do like a screen save. Yeah, I think that's what it's something like that. Windows Sys Wow 64 Win, something like that. Mac. I don't know what the hell that is. Man, I don't download anything really. I mean, I go to porn sites and shit, but it's nothing like I don't do anything. I mean, I go to those sites. So I guess I do download like gaming books and like, sometimes I'll download like documents and shit, STLs. I mean, I download STLs, but it's usually from like reputable sites. I would think. I don't know anything about it. I mean, I'm not on, I'm not like on Pirate Bay or anything like that. I mean, I used to venture that stuff. I just don't really have a need for that anymore. I just get that kind of stuff on different sites. And this was Mel's computer before it was mine. So it's like I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the hell she was messing with it. My computer's usually this is a laptop that I'm on, guys. Those tend to last only like, for me, they usually last about a couple years at the most. Then I gotta get a new one because it's funny, guys, because it's not like the hardware or like the system. It's the fucking it's the actual like frame. Like on this one, like the frame to the screen is broken. You know what I mean? And like all the like a bunch of the screws underneath it have all worked them ways out over the years or some shit. Yeah, I'm sure it is sneaky. I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've got like all the basic safeguards that everybody else does on my computer. But again, I don't know. I don't know nothing about it. I usually save. I usually put all my stuff on like backup like hard drives. So it's like I really don't have a lot on my computer. I don't have any personal information like credit card numbers or anything like that on there. So I'm not really worried about that. To be a danger to yourself. It's true. It's true. It's a dangerous world out there. You know, it's crazy. You know, it's like, nerd. I have to tip my hat to you, girl, because I mean, you're protecting like hospitals and shit. I mean, fuck, dude. That is evil. That is some evil shit when somebody like holds a hospital hostage. I mean, that's like life threatening shit, man. That's just fucking evil. It's just like, who are these people? I mean, who who can do that? That's just that's just fucking evil. Like, I watched some video or some news report this week about people would intercept like people's medications, right? And then they would take the medications, they would like they take the meds, and then they would like they'd use like alcohol to like wipe off the prescription on it, and then they'd resell it to like pharmacies, and then even like replace the shit with like, you know, other medications, like junk medications, or they would just put rocks in it or some shit, or like, who the fuck? They showed this video. There's some, I don't know what, it was like a family. It was this Hispanic family, and it was like the mom and the dad and the sons were just sitting at their dinner table, and they were just opening up all these pill bottles and fucking. It's just, what the fuck is wrong, man? I don't get it, guys. And I know the world's always been like this. There's always been those that prey on others. But it's just dumbfounding that some people are just so callous and so just. And it was like a family affair too. It was like, hey, that's our family job. Let's steal a bunch of meds. And then what kind of pharmacy buys fucking medications from these people? I don't fucking know, dude. It's crazy. It's fucking nuts, man. Can't trust anybody or anything, I guess, these days. Fuck. You know, they're talking also, I saw a news report, they were talking about how like so guys, I haven't bought a car from a dealership in like probably like 30 years. 25 years, right? But I guess a big thing nowadays in car dealerships is that they're like they're putting all these like fucking fees, you know, after the fact, after the sale price has been established. You go up there to pay the final bill or whatever, and there's like 4,000 extra bucks in whatever. And I guess it's gotten so bad that the, you know, government has to intrude in the industry and say, look, you fucks, enough. Man, I just wouldn't pay. If I bought a car and I went in to pay or file the papers and I found $4,000 extra, I would like, go fuck yourself. And if I don't get a refund, I'm gonna sue the fuck out of you. Just fuck that. Yeah, it's insane, man. God, I tell you, man, it's just, what the fuck is wrong with the world, dude? Love your money, right? Love your money, love your money. We all, I know money makes the world go round, but fuck, when is enough? Man, when does a profit turn into a fucking theft? Look, I'm a capitalist, man. I believe in that shit. You know, I think that's the right thing to do. It's the right way the world works, you know. You get paid for your endeavors and your time at a reasonable rate. And then, you know, that rate is dependent on those that are willing to pay it. But I guess, I don't know. That's fucking nuts. Hey, cat, what you doing? I don't know. What are you doing? Meowing? Cat is so weird. She'll just come in, start meowing, and then like walk off. Jesus, I mean, you went from 25 to 20. Yeah, jeez, man, I don't know what the fuck. It's insane, dude. I mean, did you buy it? I mean, what were the fucking fees for? I tell them to go fuck themselves. Seriously. I'll go buy. I mean, I will go and buy, the cash car if I have to. Because I mean, if I don't trust a dealer, I just buy a cash car for $1,000. Drive that for fucking 2 years, and then buy another cash car at Junker or whatever. Fuck. I don't get it, dude. A buddy of mine's a lawyer up in Waco, and he did. So check this out. This old guy, he's like 70 or 80. He's like dying, right? He was going to buy a car. He wanted to buy a car, brand new car, because when he died, he wanted to leave it to his fucking kids, right? So he goes and whatever, and he buys this car, and then like they charge him for of course he told them their story. He's this old dude, he's not doing well, he wants to leave it to his kids and da. Oh yeah, that's really noble. We'll give you a deal, right? Well, okay, they didn't give this guy a deal. But they gave him a deal in the initial, and then next thing you know, he ends up paying an additional $10,000. And they're sitting there like, well, this guy's about to die. So what is he gonna do? Sue us? Or he's just gonna pay it because he wants to give it to his kids, right? Or he doesn't have the time or the energy to do it, right? Well, my buddy pro bono, he's fucking awesome. He does all that shit. He fucking got him, and he fucking just destroyed that company, and one, the guy died, I think, before the case was up. But they're no longer car dealerships. They've lost their license, their business license, and all that shit because preying on that kind of person. I'm just like, God damn, that's some fucking evil shit, dude. It's just fucking assholes. I gotcha. Gotta have that. You gotta have that family vehicle. Move the kids around and the dogs or whatever. But yeah, it's just like, but yeah, it scared. I guess that lawsuit, got out, to all the other dealers in the area, and they're like, oh shit, we better start being like responsible, and reputable, and honest, and forthright. I gave my ex-wife like a bunch of money because let's say like the situation was that I didn't have a car. My car broke down, my truck broke down, and I had the kids, and I didn't have any means to go like look for vehicles, right? So I gave my ex a bunch of money. I gave her like $5,000, all the money I had at the time, to go out and shop around and give me a truck. Put a pen, buy me a truck outright or give me whatever. And I told her what I wanted, but because we got a sick kid, and we can't just. It's not. My son's diabetic. He can't move. I can't take him out in the outdoors much because he's susceptible. His immune system's non-existent. Anyway, but she went to a dealer and she got this beautiful truck, this F-150, right? I got it. I'm driving around, and that's great. And so like the week later, because I didn't buy it, she told me, hey, there's this F-150, and it looked good from the pictures, so she got it for me. And then so I think I was rotating the tires or some shit, and I took the tire off, and I'm looking, and the fucking undercarriage is just rotted. It's just rusted out. I'm like, what the fuck? And you could see these motherfuckers. They spray painted the fucking metal, because you could see like the black is on the the whatever, but you could tell they just spray painted all the rust, right? So you couldn't see it. And you could tell this was a total flood vehicle, right? This thing was sitting in water that was, probably up to the fucking doors, submerged, not completely submerged, but like, the undercarriage was underwater. You could tell. So fuck. So, it's just like that sneaky fucking shit. So, yeah. It's true. I mean, it's true. I mean, there's always going to be that person that, wants to fuck, yeah. But anyway, it is what it is, I guess. is what it is. You gotta just deal with all that bullshit. Oh, but no, Shadow, what I was saying. Yeah, I mean, so again, dealing with my ex, it was in her name. I gave her the. It's a unique. We have a unique situation or at one time, guys, because I was taking care of the kids and she was out of state. Then she moved back. Anyway, it's weird, but it was under her name, the vehicle, and so yeah, I go, yeah, let's fucking sue those fucks. I know that there's like the lemon clause and the not being forthright, if there's any kind of like damage or any kind of whatever. And she's like, no, it's okay, let's not mess with it. I'm like, what do you do? I can't make her do it because it's all in her name, so she would have to do it. I can't do it. So anyway, but so that was the end of that. We ended up selling it anyway later on and got a good price for it. So we told them that it had some it had the rust issue and whatnot. So we weren't assholes. They were like, yeah, that's cool. That's the muffler was rusting out, and of course, it was a cash. We sold it as a cash car, so I think it was like $3,000 or some shit, or they got a good deal too. But I don't have a problem working on vehicles. I mean, I'm not a huge gearhead. I mean, I can do most, just. I mean, I can't replace an engine, or I mean, I guess I could, but I don't have like a winch and like a shit to get it out. But I can do most repairs. Can't do. I say I can't. I just haven't. I haven't done a transmission in a long fucking time. Or I mean, I've done it before, but I haven't done it in a long time. So, but that's what YouTube's for, right, guys? That's what YouTube's for. You fucking, and I have to commend all those mechanics and plumbers and electricians and all these awesome dudes that have this excellent skill that people fucking berate as like being simpletons or whatever the bullshit. These people have a real world skill, and these guys are like, and gals are willing to like, show their skill on videos so people can try to do it themselves. See, if there was a garage in town that was like that would show videos and help people out, and if I needed garage work, I would take it to them because I know that they're fucking cool. They're trying to help folks. Now, is that the case of all times? No, but you know what I mean. I mean, at least that'd be my starting point. It's true. I mean, YouTube is, yeah, wiring. Oh my god, yes. Like, what do they call that? The cancer of cars, the wiring, the rusting, or the wiring starts to get all jacked up. And it's just like when the wiring starts to go, it is a bad scene in a vehicle. Car cancer or something like that. I don't know what they call it. Again, my car experience is usually repairs, and I never like built a car or anything like that. That guy's pretty much done. So, hey, nerd, did the Blucherets, whatever, the undead dudes in Dust, did they have any kind of like iconry, like any patches or any kind of like symbols? I can't remember if I've ever seen anything from them that they had anything like that. Like maybe something they'd wear on their they're like sleeves or they're collars or something. Because that's one thing I do like to do on my figures though is give them ranks and stuff. If they, of course, it's just a representation. It's not like a super accurate. It's just like a dot or something like that on it. Just to represent it. I do like to do that. The blood cross. I don't think I've seen that. Is that just like an iron cross? But like red or something? I think now that you say that, it's like an iron cross, but it has like a red in the middle of it. Is that what that one is? I want to say I remember seeing something like that. I need to read on. I think I've got almost all the Dust stuff. I just need to read it. God, I need to read that damn Dust Adventure so we can start playing it. Oh, it's specific to Dust. I think I know what you're talking about. It's like a dagger at the bottom, something like that. Yeah. Okay. I know. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So it's basically like a cross. Okay. Yeah, another thing about like Dust I didn't like is that they got rid of the Nazis. And guys, I'm not a fucking Nazi, okay? Jesus. Just because I played with Nazis and I paint the shit or whatever, it's like because I'm in fucking World War II and then there's Germans. But Nazis are like the perfect enemy, guys. I mean, shit. And to like pull that PC, bullshit card, it just lessens like their cred. But I mean, I understand it on a business, because certain markets and shit banned it, and some people look down upon it, whatever the fuck. But yeah, exactly, man. Mac, I hear you, dude. I hear you. It's just like, now listen, I don't have a problem with you getting rid of fucking Hitler. I mean, I think the guy was a fucking dumb fuck, and I think that if they did get rid of him, how many times there was a it's like 5 different assassination attempts against Hitler, guys. Like throughout the years, it wasn't just but like, I mean, I could see him getting knocked out. Like if he got knocked out early in the war, maybe fucking, I mean, like before Reinhard got wasted, he could take over. He's even worse. That motherfucker is evil as fuck. He could take over, or even like Hitler gets, or even the Nazis get suppressed, right? Like you can nix the Nazis in a cool way, I guess. I don't know. I don't think World War II works if you don't have the Nazis in play. You know what I mean? Because I guarantee if the German high command like took over, they just sue for peace. They're just like, we're not going to continue this fucking pointless war that we know we're not going to goddamn win and destroy our country. So let's just stop. Let's just give in. And that could be a whole nother thing where like maybe they make peace with the Western allies, but the Soviets refuse, and then the Soviets turn on the West. You could do that kind of shit. Then you got the German kind of shit. Then you got the Germans fighting with the Western allies against the Soviets or some shit or whatever you want to do. I don't know. But I mean, World War II is not World War II without the Nazis. I mean, that was the driving force that drove Germany into that conflict. That ideology and that apparatus that kept them at war for so long. So it's like to say that country would keep going if the Nazis were ousted is foolish because they would stop, in my opinion. I don't think the Nazi ideal was alive any longer, that the German people would keep suing for fucking war. But again, whatever. Oh, is that what happened? The counterfaction, yeah. Yeah, it's like, so it's weird to have like German versus German, I guess. I mean, what are the resources? I mean, how is there like, so the unheard and her, isn't that the secret police or whatever the fuck? A Herneruby? I don't know what the fuck it is. But yeah, it's crazy. But again, in my opinion, World War II just doesn't work without the Nazis, and like World War II doesn't work without Imperial Japan. I mean, fuck, man, or fascist Italy. I mean, you have to have those leaders, those those ideologies, and ideologic goals to even have World War II. And then if you're going to nix those out of the cause of public politically correctness, then it's just not World War II anymore. It's just its own fantastical, like its own like thing. And I think that's what it does kind of turn into, is like its own thing. Oh, so so they're okay. So they made it to Argentina because they were the undead ones, right? That's kind of was their force, right? Was the undead, because they were like, because they didn't have the manpower, right? So they had to like use dead folks for it. I'm not, again, I need to read I read the lore once, long time ago, but this was early when Dust first came out, so it may have changed a little bit since I've read it, or maybe I don't know, but I do need to reread it. Yeah, my Weird World War II. I want to do. God, I wish I had more time and people to play with down here. And play this World War II stuff out, because like I want to do like war in like South America. Like I want to make like South American belligerents, and like, because I mean, just imagine like the world, gone to shit. South America was always a fucking powder keg anyway. They had their own little skirmishes and shit down there. But if it went full blown, especially if like the Nazis, like if somehow the Nazis were able to maintain and stay longer, then you could start having these, if they were like showing like, they could hold their own for a while, and these countries that were kind of sympathetic to them might actually join them, because it's like, whoa, the Nazis are doing pretty good, so let's join this fascism shit. Let's join the Axis. So like Argentina, you could have like Brazil down there, Ecuador, hell, even Mexico can get in the fray. Dude, Mexico could go either way. You know what I mean? It's like, depends on the situation, the political situation. That's, and then even Africa, like if you have so like in my timeline, the Commonwealth collapses really early in the war. So now you got all these, you got all the African and Asian colony states. You don't have that British rule anymore. So you got all these new countries like India. India will be a fucking great, like its own country, like own belligerent, because I mean, if you don't know the history of India during World War II, it's fucking crazy, guys. It's fucking bonkers. Lots of crazy shit, famines and revolts and all sorts of shit was happening in India. And it, if India didn't have that oversight from the Commonwealth, or even the backing of the Commonwealth after that, you're talking probably maybe it could be a civil war. You could have maybe them allying with Japan out of necessity. You might even have them just going neutral, trying to do their own internal struggles, trying to deal with all that internal shit. But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. Hell yeah, maybe we can have Super Gandhi. He's like, you will be pacifist or die. Or maybe Gandhi goes a different direction. It becomes more militant. Now that the Brits aren't there, you don't have that foreign power at play. You have internal struggles. You know how that turned out for him. There's a great speaking of India and World War II, there's an India movie. It's called My Friend Hitler or something like that, right? And it's a story where I guess there's an instance where Gandhi was sending letters to Hitler to try to, he was trying to convince him to, not go the way of war or whatever, right? But anyway, there's a movie of this, right? And the whole cast is Indian, okay? So you have an Indian Hitler. It's fucking great, dude. It's fucking great. You should check it out. I think it's like My Friend Hitler, I think is what it's called, or Letters to Hitler, or some shit like that. Check it out. Just look that up in your browser and look up like Indian Hitler, and you'll see him. It's great. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Well, didn't that happen with like everybody turned on Churchill after the war. He served his purpose, right? He was the war guy, and then when the war was over, it was time for somebody different. They voted him out of office pretty quick. Hell, the Americans, when that unprecedented third term for FDR, I think the big thing was like, let's, he's the wartime prez. Let's let him finish his job. What a great excuse to go run for a third term, huh? What are you guys referring to? This percentage stuff? Is this like? Oh yeah, dude. So Shadow. I want to get with you maybe tomorrow if free, for your show. I'm gonna give you a call. I want to get back on the the streaming service, Streamware, Stream River, whatever the fuck it's called, the Duck service. Um, I could not get it to work on my laptop, dude. I did all the like information sharing with YouTube, and I waited that little time period they said it might take. Nothing fucking happened, and nothing linked. I could do the stream on that thing. I could do the stream on Facebook. It would work on Facebook. I think it would work on Rumble, but it would not work on YouTube. I need to StreamYard. Yeah, I want to get with you and see, if you remember how you did it. I don't know if you did it, or I get Justin, or hell, get Nerd. One of you guys help me with that tech, because I want to do these shows, but I want to do it like you do your live stream, guys. I want to do it like where you guys can like get on and actually talk.
because I think it's a lot more fun. It's more engaging than you guys having to type, messages and all that shit. We can have more of a interesting dialogue and discussion, give you guys a chance to speak more, because I'm all about you guys saying your say too, because this is a community. I want us to have a chance to talk to each other, not just respond to each other. But yeah, I'll see if maybe get with you tomorrow and just talk to you about it a little bit. I mean, I watched the video, like the how-to video they had, and I did all the shit, the codes and the setting your settings to allow them to do your video, all that kind of shit. I did all that shit, but it didn't work. It just wouldn't work. I don't know what the fuck. And that's why I got rid of it. I mean, I don't mind paying. I'll probably pay for it so I can have more hourage or something. Because honestly, guys, I might do this if I get that working to where we can all just engage with each other. I might do a thing every day or every other day or some shit. Because I'm telling you, I get a lot of painting done just talking with you guys, just hanging out with you guys. So, I got a lot of bullshit I printed up. I need to paint. Not print. I need to print, and paint. I got a big tote full of minis. I'm not lying. There's probably hundreds of minis in there now. I've just printed like a fucking madman. Like a madman. What's up, baby?
Can you get off your computer? Can I borrow it?
Oh, you need to get on? All right, guys. I guess Mel needs to use the computer. So I've been on 2 hours. So, but yeah, let's try to connect tomorrow, Shadow. Before your show. I know your show's later in the evening though, but maybe noonish or so, your time or my time or whatever. Just whenever. But all right, guys. Well, hey, Nerd, Mac, Shadow, all you guys, I appreciate you swinging by, hanging out with me. You guys are always welcome here. Look forward to seeing Mac start a channel, no matter how how less you use it. It's all good. Just start a channel, man. We'll get on there and do some shit, and see some more videos out of you, Nerd, too. I know you're a busy girl, but it's cool. All right, guys. Well, whatever you guys do, keep it weird. See you later. And I'll call you tomorrow, Shadow.